Detroit Mayor, what are some of the things that you saw last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars that might give you just a slight glimmer of hope that they'll get more than 3 wins this year?
Oh shoot, I say glimmer of hope, but more than 3 wins, you took it too far. I mean, I think,
You want me to
I
run
think
down? You want me to run down the moves they made to update you on the team?
I know they improved their offensive line. I mean, really start off getting rid of Urban Meyer.
Yes.
You know, because you got to create a better culture. So they
Mhm.
did that. They got a good coach in there who's pretty good with working with quarterbacks. So that's a good plus. I'm not really big on the move getting a man from Georgia. I don't know how that's gonna work.
What
Um,
Walker?
I think Trayvon Walker is a great defensive line, but he's not a. I don't think he's gonna be a great pass rusher. Now, if they use him the right way, maybe, but he's not gonna be your pass rush. He'll stuff the hole, stuff the run, stuff like that. But I don't see him getting a lot of sacks. So I think they still are in need of a great pass rusher. Um, but like I said, I think Trevor Lawrence working with Peterson and having his second year his first year under the belt, they may be on the upside. But I don't know about more than 3 wins. Maybe I give him 4 or 5, but I don't see him. I don't see a drastic change. Let me say that.
But before you run down to the transactions, Nick,
Mhm.
I hear what you're saying about the quarterback situation. The only problem is that the fact that he was in such a toxic situation last year with Urban Meyer.
Mhm.
Um, the only thing I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is not going to be able to take anything away from last year. Obviously, he's going to see he saw a whole 17
Man, he
games.
got experience. So I mean, you
Yeah,
can't. That's one thing you
yeah,
can't.
he got
Yeah.
experience. I'm not
Mhm.
going to take that away from him. It was a lot of bad experience, but a
Experience, nevertheless,
a
though.
lot.
I mean,
It is.
not to cut you off, but you gotta think of like this: you transition from one game speed to another game speed.
Mhm.
So to adapt to that, you get a year of that under your belt is a way to perpetuate, propel you forward.
Yeah.
So I would give them that. And I think I prefaced my statement before we're saying getting rid of Urban Meyer because like you said, you said toxic environment. Creating a good culture is key to sports in general. If you got a bad environment, a bad culture, even a losing mentality,
Hmm.
it's not going to work. So I
Yeah.
think that they made moves to change the culture is the biggest thing they got. That plus ETN's coming back, you
Yes.
know,
Having
so
Travis Etienne helped big
it
time.
helps because now he's familiar with Travis, and I think those things are positive. And I had to let Nick finish running down the lines. I can't remember all the
Yeah.
transactions off the top of my head.
But I think my main point was is that
Mhm.
I know that he does garner some experience from last year, even though it was a lot of bad experience, a lot of
Mhm.
bad toxic environment. It, it's just that when you bring in Doug Peterson, uh, you're starting to hit that point where all right, it's 2 years now, two
Mhm.
different coaches, two different
Right.
schemes, two different environments. So it's like he's he hit the reset button. So he's pretty much starting from ground zero, slightly. And I say slightly is because yes, you get the experience of being in the NFL last year. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But it's literally you have to. I'm not saying he has to relearn a lot of shit, but he has to pretty much start over on a lot of shit and a lot of stuff that
Mhm.
you know. I'm not saying he's behind the 8 ball, but that curve. The
Mhm.
good thing about Zach Wilson is he's still dealing with the same coaches as last year. He's still
Yeah.
dealing with the
Yeah.
same culture. So
Mhm.
that's going to give him a leg up over Trevor
Right.
Lawrence.
Mhm.
And Zach Wilson has received a lot of motherly love this offseason.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting
No,
for
definitely. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. We bring up Mikey Bones, I'm talking Sam Cassell. We bring up Zach Wilson, I'm talking Mom. How is it be?
You know what, Anthony? I've been saying that forever. Shad
Yeah.
Khan,
Yeah.
ever since he bought the squad, ever since he bought the Jaguars early, about I think it was 2010 or something like that, 2011. But since he had it, it's been a lot of losing. It's been a lot of losing.
Correct.
The only
You can't put that on the owner.
how can I not? He's the owner. He's supposed
Here's
to put
why.
no, hold on, Nick. You know good and damn well
Putting the
when
right
you're the
pieces.
owner, you're not
Putting
putting
the
the
right
right
pieces
people in the right places. You're not putting the right people in the right
Jacksonville
places.
is very similar to the Jets. The owners of both teams have wanted to win. The owners of both teams have spent a ton of money to win. The owners of both teams have hired the wrong people making their football decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the major issue. It's not like they're not spending money. It's not like they're not trying. It's not like they're buying. Their GMs were buying the wrong people. Their GMs were drafting the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Their GMs were letting the wrong players go. They
Yes.
were overturning coaching so much. There's no continuity.
Yes.
Like you said, you just said yourself about comparing Zach and Trevor in year 2.
Mhm.
Zach's got the same system. Trevor doesn't. So it's already a step ahead for Zach, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're looking at is when you're constantly changing, you look at the teams with continuity on the sideline and in the front office.
Mhm.
And for the last 20 years, the Packers, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Seahawks, for the most part, you're looking at teams that made the playoffs time and time again.
You can't even keep a straight face.
Hey, he said he agree with you though.
I agree, man. So, Mikey, I'm gonna tell you now that you're watching. When we went to commercial, my hand to God, I have one white towel, but it's in the wash. I was gonna come back from the commercial with the white towel on after you made the fucking comment. I'm like, you know what? I do not need this screenshot around the internet that Nick had a pointy white.
He had a hood on.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
Just got my hood out the cleaners.
So,
I'm glad you rethought that one.
Because I was gonna say something.
Nick was in the hospital last week because he fell off his horse.
Yeah, Mikey said that time.
He's
Great.
He's in the hospital for them burns.
Yeah,
and the crosses.
That's
See what I'm saying? That's from crosses.
I got too close to the cross. I'm sorry. It wasn't a grill at all. I apologize.
Well, go ahead, bro.
So, when you look at the continuity, all those teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steelers have run 3-4 forever. They haven't changed their system.
Right.
Coaching staff has been the same for 3 coaches since the 60s.
Yeah.
The front offices have been the same. You're constantly drafting for the same type of player. You're never doing what the Jets did. Parcells ran a 3-4. Herm went 4-3. Mangini went 3-4. Rex ran a whole bunch of different ones. Bowles wanted to go back to. When you're constantly changing your systems, your coaches, your styles, you can never progress because you're constantly hitting the reset button.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I will say this about the Jaguars. I think they had one of the best off seasons this season. From hiring Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach with a backup quarterback who made Carson Wentz look outstanding. They went 14-2, 13-3 with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, and then they go and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling. I don't think that they're there. Obviously.
Oh no, they're far from there.
When you look at the offseason that they had, right? When we look at, they re-signed Cam Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
They re-signed Andrew Wingward, a safety. Terry Godwin, special team like a receiver, low-end guy. Will Richardson, offensive tackle. Trey Herndon. Those are guys that they kept on the team, right?
Yeah.
Now, what'd they do in free agency? They bring in Brandon Scherf, one of the top 2 guards in free agency. You're going to have a quarterback. You're going to call him a generational player. You better keep his ass upright because he's useless if he's on. He's as good as we are if he's not on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Scherf has the injury history question mark.
Right.
And the Jets on
but he's a low risk, high reward type of sign.
Very high reward. Doesn't play a lot, gets banged up a lot, but when he's out there, he's one of the top 3 guards in football.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, you bring him in from the Cardinals.
Overpaid.
Deep threat. You got a quarterback with a cannon for an arm. Get a guy who can go deep downfield.
They overpaid.
You bring in Zay Jones.
Hey, hold on. They
Yeah,
overpaid.
but to Nick's point,
But
to Nick's point, he's still a player that can contribute to what you're trying to do.
I'll try.
if you're trying to run a
I'm with you
vertical
guys. I'm with you
downfield
guys.
passing attack, you need
Mhm.
guys with speed. You bring in Zay Jones from the Raiders, right? You know firsthand, Mark. Jones
I
can
like
get
Zay
past
Jones.
anybody.
I like Zay
Mhm.
Jones.
He can get.
I
He's
like
not
Zay
an over the middle guy. He's not he's a Robbie Anderson type. He will outrun anyone. So you're putting together a downfield vertical.
And Zay Jones
passing
gets
attack.
up off the ground like nobody else. He does the whole Matrix style when he gets up off the ground. He does it like every game.
You bring in Evan Ingram from the Giants. He's got some catch issues with drops. We know that from watching the Giants play.
Low risk,
But
high
now
reward.
you got an athletic tight end who can also get downfield and be a mismatch.
Right.
Hey, his biggest thing is being on the field. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
On defense, you bring in a guy from the Jets, gave him a
Yes,
nice
Marvin
$30
Jones Jr.
million
is still there,
deal.
man.
Batu
Marvin
Kasi.
Jones Jr. is still there.
He's a good run stuffer up the middle.
Mhm.
Alukum from the Falcons, linebacker. Darius Williams, 3-year, $30 million deal to play cornerback.
Right.
So you're seeing the team bring in speed, athleticism, guys who can run and make plays. They're building up their line, signing Cam, bringing in Scherf,
Mhm.
guys that they lost, DJ Shark.
Right.
But you're bringing in Jones and Kirk, so now you're
Thank
bringing
you,
in faster
Jessica.
guys to replace someone who maybe don't fit your mold in the type of system.
Hey, there we go. Comment of the day right there. Look at that shit. Which is true. Hey, 2017 Jaguars did make AFC title game. I haven't seen a title game with the Cowboys in it since mid 90s, early 90s. So you got a point there,
They
man.
beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. So you lose Chark, you lose AJ Conn, right guard, and you lose Andrew Norwell, a guard. And then the other guys aren't even worth mentioning who they lost. But now, give me a second. Let me open up the other browser. Now the draft. I think they had a very good draft. They didn't have as many picks as they've had in the past. So number one overall, they take Trayvon Walker. They got Josh Allen already on the one side, who's a good pass rusher. Now you add a physical, brute, nasty motherfucker. That's what Trayvon Walker is. He is a bring your lunch pail dork. He's not a flashy outside guy in the pass rush. He's a guy who will work hard, make plays, and make everyone else around him better. Another first-round pick. One of my favorite guys in the draft, but he's older, and that's the reason I didn't like him. Devin Lloyd from Utah, middle linebacker. So you let Miles Jack go, and you bring in a younger, I think, better version of Miles Jack.
I love Devin Lloyd. I love Devin.
So now you got
I like him.
and Trayvon Walker, two big bruising type of guys up front. You got Josh Allen with speed. You got Devin Lloyd behind him. You didn't have a second-round pick because they moved up with their two to get Lloyd.
Yeah.
You bring in Luke Fortner, big nasty dude from Kentucky, a guy who I absolutely loved for the Jets in the draft. Another linebacker, Chad Muma from Wyoming.
Yeah, I like Chad.
I can go sideline to sideline. You got Lloyd and Muma. When you're playing in the NFL nowadays, you got to be able to cover tight ends. I'm
glad you said that because Devin Lloyd, he's a sideline guy too.
Yeah. They brought in a running back. Oh, don't forget, Travis Etienne was drafted last year and never played. So he's a part of this rookie class because technically he's eligible for Rookie of the Year because he never played a regular season game. They brought in a kid from Ole Miss that you guys might know, Snoop Connor, running back from Ole Miss. They brought in a cornerback in round 6, 2 cornerbacks, Monteric Brown from Arkansas and Gregory Jr. from Quantica Baptist in the later rounds. So
I guess he got Jesus on this side.
Speed, all the skill positions, they're getting small linebacker to be speed, to run everywhere. They're getting big on the D-line with Fatukasi and Walker. They're getting big on the offensive line. You got a quarterback who showed flashes last year.
He did.
So is this team a playoff team?
Hell no.
Not yet.
So,
Not yet.
To go from the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row, you win 6 games this year, 7 games this year, and you're competitive. It's the same thing I say about the Jets, right? Everyone's always like, what's your prediction? What's your prediction? I don't care about the prediction. Be competitive. I don't want to see a 45-17 loss anymore. I want to see a 21-17 loss with the good teams. I want to have it be competitive with 5 minutes left in the game. Jaguars, Lions, Jets, these are all teams that I think have done really well. I think they're all teams. I think the Jaguars fit the same category as our team. They're going to be competitive. They're going to play hard. They're drafting well. They finally are figuring it out. And, question marks remain on Goff, even though he's been there. I mean, question marks remain with all three of those teams' quarterbacks. But if Goff can fit in, why can't Lawrence? Why can't Lawrence take this team with the speed of Kirk? You still got Chenault. You got Zay Jones.
Marvin Jones Jr.
You got even Evan Ingram. You got ETN. You got Robinson in the backfield.
He got some weapons.
Yeah, he got some weapons.
You got a coach that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you got a coach that's figured it out before. Why can't you do it again?
Now, let me ask you a question, Nate. Now, is this too far-fetched to believe that what Doug Peterson had as a Super Bowl winning coach in Philly, weapon-wise on offense, I would say he had more weapons on this Jacksonville team than that Super Bowl team.
They had a better line. And
offensive line. I'm not saying offensive line. I'm talking about weaponry. I'm talking about your wide receivers, your running backs, tight ends.
Trying to remember who's on that team.
Alshon Jeffrey was like the number one when they won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Alshon Jeffrey was their number one. That's the
Zach
main
Ertz
name sticking out to me.
Zach Ertz. Yeah.
Who did they have at running back? I can't remember who they had at running back.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't know what ETN's going to be.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what you got with James Robinson. You got a solid 1,000
and
yards.
now you got a better
rusher.
line.
Yeah.
You bring in Scherf, man. You get that guy that you know you can run behind, 3rd and 1, 4th and goal.
Yeah.
And you have that dog that you can line up and say, we're going to run it off the guard. Try to fucking stop us. We know what we're going to do. We know what we're going to be good at. You try your best. Good luck to you. They got that guy in Scherf now. And now you got an athletic quarterback where everyone knows you're going to run. Bloop, you fake it. You get him out in the open with a run-pass option. With all the athletes that you got, you get a domino effect of greatness instead of the domino effect of awfulness they've had for so long.
Hey, stand right there. Stay right there because you just hit something that I think most people haven't really paid attention to with Trevor Lawrence is his athleticism because he's looked at as the next great quarterback hype, but people sleep on what Dabo was doing with him in Clemson. They used him in a lot of RPO.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And he was able to be athletic enough to there was one time I seen him break off almost like a 60-yard run that Trevor Lawrence broke off in Clemson. So I think I'm glad you said that because I think that let's look at what Doug Peterson
did that with Wentz. If you go
Thank
back
you.
and watch the
There we
Eagles
go.
with Peterson
Hey,
on,
I set it up for you. You knock it out the park. There we go.
So, I think it's a perfect marriage.
Perfect fit. It's a perfect fit for Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence.
It could be something in 3-4 years that's near the top of the league.
So is it not far-fetched to believe that they'll get more than 3 wins?
Easy.
I think they at least get five.
I said 5. I think 5 is this. I think 5 is what they get. They still got Trent Baalke though.
I'll tell you, man. I think he had a nice offseason. I really think Baalke had a nice offseason. And it's when you look at I'll use the Jets as an example because obviously that's the team I follow. First year Joe Douglas had a draft. He had Adam Gase. He took Becton. Second round, he took Mims. Jets fans have been questioning that draft class. There's a lot of question marks in it. Second year, you bring in Robert Saleh. And I say this all the time. The day that Robert Saleh hired his staff, they all had to write detailed analysis and reports of what they want in a skill set, in traits, on film, and what they don't want for each and every single position. And the draft class last year, that Joe Douglas had knocked it out of the fucking park. So there is something to be said about coaching and scouting being on the same page and having the same vision and moving forward. So now that Peterson's come in, if Peterson has that pedigree, his word's going to weigh more with the scouting department and Baalke's staff. And you see, I mean, ETN plays last year. That helps them. So, I mean, you're seeing growth, you're seeing improvement, you're seeing a new day. So
it's a new day. Yes, it is.
it is. So I think the Jaguars will be improved. I don't think they're anywhere near a playoff team at this point. If some teams in their division, if something happens to Matt Ryan or Henry, maybe they could sneak up and compete until Thanksgiving. But I just think they're another year away from being wild card or division contender. And I think you got no state tax in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You got a young stud quarterback. You got a Super Bowl winning coach. You have a nice draft. If Walker does well, him and Josh Allen could be, a good pass rush duo. Guys might want to go there. It might be a place that people want to go to. And you might
look at it this way.
Really, really take a jump in year 3 of the quarterback.
You make great points, Nick, and that's what makes me come to this point. I think my worries with the Jaguars is if they can get that offense going. Because if you look at what they did, and just to highlight, just a big highlight of the season last year, they kept Buffalo Bills, one of the high-powered offenses, out the end zone last year.
Yeah,
when right?
It's not 9-6.
It was a field goal.
Yeah, they beat them 9-6. So when I'm not worried about their defense because Josh Allen pretty much single-handedly. Well, I'm not gonna say single-handedly, but Josh Allen was a beast. Josh Allen,
he was.
he was all over himself, taking down the Buffalo version of himself all game. And I'm being very vague about it. It's a whole team effort on that defensive side. They all brought the pressure in that game. They all played lights out. That defensive side played lights out against Buffalo. Kept one of the most high-powered offenses literally out the end zone. So you do have something that you can build on defensively. And I think what my biggest point with Jacksonville is how quick can Doug Peterson get these offensive guys on the same page, get that continuity going? Can they start? I think what they're going to have to do is, slowly. It's going to have to be a slow build. Let's get the things that we do in training camp and practice, the things that we do great. We're gonna keep running that until we can get everything else up to par on our offense. Right. If you got to start, me personally, I'm starting with the running game. You got a 1,000-yard rusher in James Robinson. You start with him. Start winning the trench war a little bit. Start right there. Just be simple. Keep it basic. Keep it simple, stupid. See if they can stop the run. You got 2 dynamic running backs. I mean, obviously we don't know what Travis Etienne going to be, but I think we got an idea what he was from Clemson and what he could possibly do in the NFL. So I think we got an idea. We need to see it, of course, but don't do too much. And I think Doug Peterson is smart enough to kind of understand that. I think a lot of people are going to give him a bad rep on how he left Philly. But look, when you are a Super Bowl winning coach and for what you did after you losing your starter, I think you got an idea of what the hell to do. Just a little bit. So I'm going to be focusing on watching their offense and seeing if they can get the ball moving and get into the end zone. I'm not worried about their defense. I've seen enough defensive play.
1 minute, hospital's calling.
Yeah, I've seen enough defensive play from what they did last year, even in weeks 18, the last week of the season. Right. Carson Wentz and the coach just got to win. And they made Carson Wentz look like Carson Wentz. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They intercepted him. They made the coach get away from Jonathan Taylor and say, "Hey, you're not going to kill us with Jonathan Taylor. We're going to make Carson Wentz beat us." And if you really think about it, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the reason why Carson Wentz ain't in Indianapolis no more. Because if you can't beat the Jaguars on a must-win situation, then you damn sure don't need to be a quarterback on that Super Bowl caliber team.
Right. I agree. I do agree.
So What are your kind of thoughts on your projections on what you're kind of be focusing on when we're watching the Jaguars come up this season?
I want to see how well Trevor Lawrence progress. Like, I want to see how he reading defense. Is that even better? I want to see how is he getting down, the field. How is he moving the ball? Also, when he doesn't have a play, what does he do after that? Because a lot of times, what is
Hey
it?
Anthony, I feel bad that you got Carson Wentz as your quarterback, bro.
Live for 26.
Yeah, the fact that you got Carson Wentz on your team, I don't even know if he's that much of an upgrade from Tyler Heineke. So I don't know, man.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm being honest. If Carson Wentz was so damn good, why the hell is he on another team? He's on his third team in 3 years.
Yeah.
If he's so damn good, why is he on his third team in 3 years? I mean, let's be frank about it. And look, I get he was having an MVP caliber season in 2017, but that was so long ago.
You can't live off the past, bro.
Can't live off of that. And the same coaches that was there with him when he was on that MVP run before he got hurt, they gave up on him. So that to me is even more telling about him.
Right.
That's more telling about him as I don't want to say as a player. I think it's his mental, because I think the physical thing is there. It's one, he's been having injury issues. He's never played a full season healthy. When's the last time he's played a full season healthy? His rookie year?
It's been a while.
So you talk about that. Then, you like I said, against the Jaguars, week 18, he just completely drops the ball. He fumbles the whole gig, and he's throwing interceptions all over the place. Hey, Anthony. Hey, man, if I was you, I'd have been raising hell, but like, hey, man, let's get in this Deshaun Watson trade. But it's too late now. But I'm just saying, I'd have been making hell. You might have an upgrade with Baker Mayfield than Carson Wentz. I don't know.
Oh wow, he said Baker Mayfield.
but Baker Mayfield's off the market. You stuck with Carson Wentz, bro. Yeah. Have fun with that shit. Have fun with that shit, man. You're gonna be pulling a lot of hair out your head, bro. If I was you, I'd be like, yo, let's get Taylor Heineke out here right now.
5 years or bust up my knees. Yeah.
No, but
yeah, I think too. Saying you want to see what does he do when the thrower's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna force it? Throw it away? I want to see those kind of smart decisions from him. I think that Watson, we already have drama in our company.
That is true. That is true. That is true. You mute, Nick.
Yeah, you mute.
Yeah, you mute. We can't hear you. Fix yourself. And nothing. All right, try it again.
You might have to go out and come back in again.
Yeah, come back out and come back in.
I think Dan Snyder said he don't want that competition.
He said,
Can you hear me?
Yeah. There you go.
I said Snyder and Watson would be like the Spider-Man meme, like, hey, we're best friends.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's hilarious.
It'd be like me and Mel when we meet. It's gonna be fucking trouble. I'm gonna call the cops on us before we meet. Just, hey, you guys busy for next couple hours? Follow us around, man. Keep us in line.
I got my stuff. All I need is a glass to put it in.
Oh my God. Lord, I don't know if we're gonna have a show after this shit, bro. No,
you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
No, sir.
Some people cheat on tests. I drug hoes.
These are jokes. I think. I think. I gotta throw
man.
out thinkers.
Time will only tell.
I'll do a disclaimer for Mel. Our views on sports are opinions. Mel's view on women are facts.
Time will only tell. That's all I can say.
He did say host. So if you're a good, outstanding woman, you have nothing to worry about.
It's
Possibly.
Possibly the hoes getting drugged.
No, shut up, man. I'm trying to help you. But
we don't need you digging a hole, bro.
Oh, my bad.
A woman, sir. This here a hoe.
This here is a hoe.
What woman, sir? This here is a hoe.
Oh Lord, we're
Why
so
can't I
getting
find
booted.
the same thing?
I don't know, but no. What are your final thoughts and projections on the Jacksonville Jaguars down there, big homie Nick?
Growth, right? Like I just think they're going to improve. How much is to be determined. How well does Lawrence grasp a new system in year 2?
Right.
It's to be determined. I think long term, this is a team to keep an eye on. But I think for 2022, it's going to be Jekyll and Hyde. There's going to be a game where they beat somebody like the Bills, and there's going to be a game where maybe the Texans beat them by 2 touchdowns. There's going to be head-scratching moments. There's going to be still growth. I think at the end of the year, the losses outweigh the wins, but I think that this is a team who may shock some teams throughout the season, have some really great moments, and then have some old school Jaguar moments. But that's part of a young quarterback, a new coach, a team that's been very, very awful. You know, you win 5-6 games this season, you're moving in the right direction. You're probably picking 6 or 7, but that's been deeper than you've picked in the last couple of years. So definitely a team to keep an eye on going forward. I think we all agree they have their quarterback, they have their guy. And now you got to do everything you can to help him to succeed. And I really, I can't say it enough. And I love Peterson and Lawrence together long term. If you went 14-2 with Carson Wentz and had him MVP type, and you're running the RPO with him at quarterback, I think Lawrence is more. I think he's a better quarterback than Wentz. I think he's more athletic than Wentz. I think that this system could be very, very good for Lawrence to really have some huge games this year. Like maybe like a 4-5 touchdown game a couple times. And then there may be some weeks where it just doesn't look right because they don't have the talent to get there yet.
Right.
An interesting team to keep an eye on this year and going forward, I believe.
Let's look at their schedule. Just for shits and giggles to kind of predict what they're going to do. They opened the season off against Washington. I think that's a toss-up game. That's a winnable game. Week 2, they got the Colts coming in. You saw that they took them down in the last game last year. So I would lean towards Indy, but the way that this shit ended last year, I can't say that's for certain.
They got an upgrading quarterback though, so. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, to me, I think Matt Ryan was a huge upgrade, and we'll definitely talk more about that on Thursday when we go over the Colts. But week 3, they have the Los Angeles Chargers. So that'll be a tough one right there. Week 4, they go to Philly. Then they start reaching into divisional games. They got Texans, and then followed by a game against the Colts.
The Texans is a winnable game.
Yeah, Texas is a winnable game. So they actually get three division games within the first 6 weeks. So that's actually pretty. That'll be a barometer where they're at in their division quite early.
Right.
They get the Giants at home. They get the Broncos at home.
That's a winnable game.
Yeah, Giants is winnable.
It's to be determined what the Broncos going to look like.
Yes, so I would right now I would put that's a toss up just because you see the defense of the Jaguars who is going to have more continuity than the offense of the Broncos. if that makes sense, because you're still talking about them getting comfortable with. Hey, don't be mad, Matt. Come on, bro. We gotta be honest about your squad, dog. I mean, it's a winnable game. I didn't say the Giants were going to lose. It's just a winnable game.
Oh wow, the disrespect on the show showing Jacksonville will beat. But we didn't say that. We didn't say they'll beat them. We just said it's a winnable game.
But you're saying a former top 5 defense.
Exactly.
I was a former high school all-division basketball player who could dunk. I can't do that shit no more, Anthony. Same at the time.
Former, past tense. Hey, your defense.
I like the truck that I'm in, though. We got Karl Malone, LeBron, Boston, the 3 of us. We're max fuck you list.
Hey, but Anthony, here's the thing about your defense. Y'all were good 2 years ago. I don't know what happened with y'all last year. I know Chase Young got hurt, and y'all just didn't have the same juice. But y'all got to find the juice again, man. So they got the Broncos, Raiders, and the Chiefs.
They're running the gauntlet.
Those are three tough.
They got Broncos, Raiders, and Chiefs. Raw back to back.
NFC West, man. That's a tough run.
Yeah. But it gets worse. They get after that. They get followed up with the Ravens. So that's another team that's looking to bounce back. They got a toss-up game in first week of December against the Lions. That's a toss-up.
That's a toss-up.
Then they got the Titans. Even though Titans won that division, they still got claim to that. After they got the Titans, they got the Cowboys at home. That's a toss-up game.
You don't know what Cowboys you're gonna get.
Hey, bro,
will be America's team that week.
hey, look. I am of the belief until they change my mind with the proof in the pudding, the Cowboys to me will always be the Cowboys. They got to show it. All right. I don't care how much talent they have on the team. They always got the most talented team, but what does it amount to? It amounts to a vacation in February. All right, that's what it amounts to. So after the Cowboys, they got the Jets. They go to New York. Oh, I'm sorry, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
That's a toss-up game.
That's a toss-up. Then they got the Texans and the Titans to finish out the season.
They should better win that one.
I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the schedule. 5-6 wins looks doable.
If you could win some games, though, that you don't expect to. And I'm going to be real here. I'm going to take my jet hat off. I'm going to put my podcast football analyst hat on. That's if you're in playoff contention, having the Jets, Texans, and Lions as your last 3 games, you pick number 1. And now you're playing the teams that picked 2, 3, and 4 last year.
Come on, man. Don't be petty.
Hey, Matt being salty as hell, dog. He's salty, man.
For today and what we saw last season, you could not handpick a better final 3 games to end your season. If you could tread water and be in playoff contention, you couldn't ask for. I'm
looking at their schedule. I don't see it.
Well,
they're going through. They're going through the whole AFC West.
Yeah,
that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, but the thing is, they get the NFC East. That counteracts that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like I'm not saying they're not winnable games. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, but it's not like
they could go 4-0 get the NFC East. Let's not say that's not possible. Come on, dog.
4-0. Not Jacksonville.
It's the NFC East.
I understand that. I understand that. I do. But I mean, it's not like they're not tough teams for Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But
so you talking about?
I'm talking about a team that can take down a caliber team like Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts, who are both. One was a playoff team, and one that should have been a playoff team. You could take them down.
One was fool's goal.
Yeah, quarterback was fool's goal.
Quarterback. Quarterback.
A lot of things matter though in the NFL. Location, time of season of the game, where home or away. Look at the Chargers last year. They go to the Ravens, they get blown out and embarrassed. Then they play teams at home and they're embarrassing them. So there's a lot of moving parts in the game. It's not as clear cut. You might get lucky.
Hey, put the weed down, man.
The Chargers at home and the Chargers don't do well traveling across the country. And then you got to go to the Chiefs and you lose by 40. So there's a lot of moving parts with you can't just look at the schedule and pick out each game.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Weather is going to matter.
No, you're right.
Some
You're right.
teams don't play
You're right.
well in cold weather, bad weather, rain, wind, snow, whatever.
Damn, Ant, you done flipped on me, dog. I need Matt. I need you to put the weed down, bro. All right, that's not
Say
going to
4-0.
Yeah, against the AFC West. Now, if they do get a win, it's either going to be Raiders or Broncos. All right.
Just a heads up, we got 5:47,
Mhm.
and we still got to do the Texans. I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on them.
No,
but
we're going right now. We're going right now. So
Yeah, it don't take long for the Texans.
So Jacksonville Jaguars were 3-14.
and we're done.
Let's go against the team that finished second to last year, 4-13 Houston Texans.
Texans is flying holes in.
Yeah. So when you look at the Texans, right, first things first, they bring in Lovie Smith. We know David Cullen got a raw deal. We all talked about that very extensively. That we thought that. What did you expect him to do with that team? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Still a head scratcher. I am a Lovie Smith guy, and I do like Lovie Smith. So, but when you look at what they did, I mean, number one, they traded Watson, right? Yeah. So you're looking at a team who's building for long term. I don't know why you bring Lovie in if you're building long term, right? Lovie is more of a let's win now coach than a long term guy. You trade Watson. You had the 2 picks this year. You took Stingley at number 3. Jesus, because Sauce Gardner fell to number 4. And then you took Kenyon Green, a massive, powerful guard with the pick. Next year, again, you're going to have 2 picks. I think we all expect the Texans to be picking top 3 next year. If Watson's suspension is lengthy, that pick could be very high as well. You know, because you don't have Mayfield. You traded him out of there. So Houston's going to be doing what I did with the Seahawks. They're going to be rooting against the Browns every week to have some top picks. And next year, if Davis Mills doesn't work out, awesome quarterback class next year. You don't need to be number 1 and hope you get that pick and that pick only. Next year is a good year to be bad.
You could be in the top 10 and get any quarterback you want.
Yeah,
get a good quarterback.
Yes, a good quarterback.
$2 million in dead cap money. They didn't spend more than $4.5 million a year on any free agent. The free agent list is mid-level players at best. A guard, AJ Khan, Steven Nelson, cornerback.
Steven Nelson solid. He used to play for the Chiefs. He's solid.
But they're not.
They're not needed. They're not needed
players at best, right?
They're not needed movers. They're not needed movers.
You're not writing any of those guys as long-term starters in Sharpie.
I will say this.
Parcells, you need guys to hold the fort until we get long-term guys here.
I will say this. Houston made a mistake by letting Justin Reed come to Kansas City. Justin Reed was their best safety that they had on their team. He's the younger brother of Eric Reed, if y'all remember him. But Justin Reed was he's a ball hawk, and Houston let him walk out the door. And to me, that changes the way that Lovie Smith is going to have to scheme, because I think Houston to me was almost similar to Jacksonville in this aspect. I wasn't necessarily worried about Houston's defense because they played with heart. They fought hard. Only problem is they didn't have enough consistency from the offense, and so the defense was on the field a lot. And then eventually, y'all know how it is. Your defense is on the field so much you can only
you're gonna
hold
get
the team down for so much. Yeah,
right.
So I think with Houston, this needs to be the make it or break year to know what you have at quarterback.
Well, how? The reason why I say that is because if you don't put nothing around him, how you gonna really evaluate him?
Well, my thing is if you sit down to Deshaun Watson last year and you trade him, and that must mean you believe in Davis Mills.
I mean, I believe they believe in him. I'm saying, but how you gonna get an accurate evaluation?
It could also be this guy can help us get the number 1 pick. So
right.
Well, no. Use him to help us.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Detroit. I'm just saying, I don't know how you accurately measure if he's the guy for you, but I'm just going based off of what I see from Houston. If you sit down Deshaun Watson for a whole year, you trade him away, to me, you're telling me, hey, we believe in this guy, at least for right now.
Yeah.
And I and from what I saw of Davis Mills, he didn't play
He played
spectacular,
horrible.
but he didn't play horrible. He
is
had his
mid-level.
Jekyll and Hyde moments.
He is mid-level.
Hyde moments.
Mm-hmm.
He had some good throws. He had some bad throws.
So here's
he
the
had
thing
good
with,
moments. He had bad moments.
I think with Davis Mills, you got good coaching there. You put some weapons around him.
Brandon Cooks is a decent weapon. I'm not saying he's all-star.
I'm saying, but he needs more than Brandon Cooks.
Oh, yes.
So my thing is, here's what I'm saying.
They drafted John Mechie III from Alabama.
Oh, so I forgot about John Mechie. Okay. Yeah. So you put some good people around him, good line. He could be a trick differ.
Hey,
he could be.
You get Marlon Mack in the backfield. Let's not act like Marlon Mack was a bad running back for you.
Well, what I'm saying is that
they drafted
he's not
a running back too. They took Damian Pierce, and everyone expects Pierce to be the guy very soon right there.
Yeah. So I think with him, if you put the right pieces around him, he can be serviceable enough where he can push your team to be a good team. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's a career backup after this year. And I'm not knocking him. I think he becomes the Texans backup, and I think they go all in on one of the big names next year, like Young.
I think it depends on what he does too, Nick. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, still 2 first-round picks, that quarterback class, I can't see Lovey tying his coaching career, because this will be his last head coaching chance, to Davis Mills. Maybe Mills proves me wrong, but as of right now, I think Houston is.
I don't think that. Well, I'll say
Seattle,
this.
The Giants, I think, are all teams that have to have one eye on now and one eye on this draft class next year.
Right. I'll say this. I don't totally disagree with you, but I don't think next year will be the time where they move off of Davis Mills. They may get a quarterback and let him sit. And then, like I said, that is all hinging on what he does.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Next year, not to get too much into next year's draft, but you got guys like Carter coming out of Georgia, the D lineman. You got Will Anderson coming out of Alabama. Lovey can just be like, you know what, we'll ride Davis for another year, because we do have 2 more picks in 2023's draft in the first round, and 2/3. Let's just build the best roster we can now, ride it out with Davis Mills, and then when the roster is good enough,
find your quarterback after that. Yeah.
Then we bring in the rookie quarterback, and the roster will be good enough to help the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people believe get the quarterback first. Jets did that with Sam Darnold. Didn't work.
I think
there's 2 different ways to go about it. You can build a good roster, or you can go for the quarterback first and then go through the growing pains. But too many teams jump ship too quick, man.
Yeah. I think it all depends on. I think each situation is different. Like, if you have, let's take the Lions. You have Jared Goff, a quarterback like him. I don't think you have to immediately run out and get a quarterback. Yeah. Now, if it falls into your lap, you take it.
Oh, without
you know what I'm saying? I believe that you can build the pieces around and then get your quarterback afterwards. But I don't think they should not get a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But I think they can kind of wait. They got that where they can wait. If they don't get it this year, they can wait down the line, because I think
because let's be honest, Jared Goff, I'm not saying he lights up the scoreboard, but he's decent enough to let you build the team around him. And hell, even if you go that strategy, if you build the team around you, the quarterback you have in-house right now might improve because the rest of your team has improved.
Right.
And therefore you make that decision whether you want to upgrade or not. You know, but it also gives you that ability to go somewhere else, because hell, hey, we're still doing pretty good. Look, I put it this way: it's almost the whole Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing. Alex Smith would get us to the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes gets us to the Super Bowl and wins it. You know, it's just that slight difference. Eye
on, like I said, one eye on now, one eye on the future.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We got to know the limitations of a player, and we got to know if we see potential greatness.
Right.
Oh, without a doubt.
So that's going to be interesting for them. They won some games. They were like the Jaguars. They beat the Chargers last year. Yeah. I think they put up 40-something on the Chargers last year, the Texans. Right. So there's moments. And if you're playing in the NFL, you're going to have moments. Mike fucking White from the Jets had a moment.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, because you bit on that damn Mike White triangle.
I remember you talking
dog.
about it. I remember you talking about it.
hey, that damn Nick bit on that Mike White train so hard, and then he hopped off that bitch instantly, bro.
I still
on Mike
I still
White,
see the residue on your
Zach
chin.
Wilson was on his mom's phone. It was a great moment, but time to move on.
Oh shit!
I know what I am.
Hey, let's
I
take
don't
a
get
quick.
many moments. I'm gonna enjoy them when they happen.
Let's take a quick look at
I'm
this
with you, bro.
schedule
I'm
real
with you.
quick. They kicked the season off with the Colts at home.
Mhm.
Texans, they go to Denver next week. Then they go to Chicago after that. Then they come home against the LA Chargers. Then they go to Jacksonville. Then they go home. No, I'm sorry. Then they go to Las Vegas, see the Raiders. Then they come home, get the Titans. After that, they get Philly at home. Then they go to East Rutherford to see the Giants. Then they go home to get to Washington. After that, they get Miami in Miami. And circle this one. First week in December. Circle this one. Circle this one. So December 4th.
17.
So December 4th in Houston.
They're playing Cleveland.
Cleveland Browns.
That's gonna be a good one.
Circle that one. Circle that one. I promise you, Deshaun wants us playing that game.
Oh, he got to.
Yo, what if you're the owner of the Texans and you get all these women to file a restraining order
to play the game?
No, wait, listen, hear me out.
Heck no, I see where you're going.
On Deshaun Watson.
He can't be in the arena.
And you hire all of them as cheerleaders so they're on the sideline and he can't go play in the game.
Yo, that's petty on another petty level. I wouldn't even thought that.
That's
bro.
Nick Shine petty, bro.
So December 4th, they got the Browns at home. They go to the Cowboys week after that. Then they have Kansas City at home after they go to the Cowboys. And then they finish up with Jaguars at home and on the road against the Colts.
3-14 at best.
So
maybe not even 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I might see the Texans in the same position as they were last year, 4-13.
Yeah, they're
but
picking up one again.
Right? Like they know it. They are at the point where we're gonna suck to get good.
Mm-hmm.
We got multiple first-round picks. We took a
cornerback
and a guard this year, right? We took a cornerback and a guard with our 2-1s.
Right.
Next year, you take a D end and you take a tackle, or you take a wide receiver and a D end.
Right.
Build your team out, and then add the quarterback in, where the quarterback can come help put you back into playoff contention.
So is it fair to say that I don't think they should be in a rush to get a quarterback?
No,
I think you can ride Davis Mills out, kind of like, and I'm not doing this to take a cheap shot, like the Giants have done with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones did not get his 5th-year option picked up.
Yeah.
You had one regime that drafted him. The new regime came in. They might ride him out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Davis Mills and both Daniel Jones flourish in a new system, in a new style of play, and they do well, and then they earn an extension.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody expects it now. Obviously, the games have to be played for a reason, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think you can look at the quarterback situations between the Texans and the Giants and say, this might not be our guy long term, but he's our guy today.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, bro, that's your quarterback, Matt. Are you saying fuck him? Oh, damn.
Yeah, somebody laced Matt's weed today. Holy shit.
All right, folks, that's our NFL preview for the AFC South. We will continue the AFC South on Thursday on episode 168.
The Titans and the Colts.
Yes, we will be going over the Indianapolis Colts, who finished second place at 9-8, and the Tennessee Titans, who had the number 1 seed in the AFC and 12-5. So we will be going over those two teams in the AFC South as we continue our preview of the NFL leading up to opening weekend. But look, it's been a blast today. So on behalf of the IOW Sports crew, we appreciate the love, the support, everybody that's been here chopping it up with us. Y'all come back now. You're here on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On behalf of the big homie Nick Shine, Detroit Mail, the man with the Grand Master Plan. I am Wildcard Mar. It's been real. Peace and love, y'all.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, got your spot. This is the cutthroat, and we up in this